guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and yeah, of course, let's get to it.
A clip that went viral over the past couple weeks where I'm talking about
Whoa.
black people in
Okay.
Chicago.
Okay.
And we emerged from a time recently where there was so much political correctness around the subject of race and race relations between blacks and whites. And so I think the conversation is sufficient now. People see my take, and what I'm saying is like, look, the city is a shithole, and it's a shithole because you got carjackings happening all the time. It's because you have this like impropriety everywhere. We talk about black people in America, people talk about fatigue, fatigue from dealing with black people. It's like we all know in our lived experience in our day to day, what we can expect from black people is people being inconsiderate, people being rude, aggressive, menacing, not following the rules. And that's kind of always been my position. Is like, on some level, people look at a person like myself or others and they think we want to ship all the black people out of America. We want to kill them all or something like that. And it's like, they've been here forever. They've been here for 400 years. They've been here longer than my family's been here. We just want them to behave. We just want to hold everybody to a standard where people are polite, respectful, clean, decent, peaceful, and the rest of it. And it's like, now that I'm back on these mainstream platforms, I do a mon.
Yeah, sorry. Anyways, what I would say about that is, me personally, I don't know what goes on in Chicago, right? So I can't really say anything there about Chicago. Me, basically, that's my own. And the reason why I always like stop and on it back is because copyright claim. Anyways,
Monologue about it, and even the black people are all saying, yeah, I agree with him, I get where he's coming from. So that's just like one example. I think that we really just need to return to common sense, and not like the gay common sense like Donald Trump, where he says common sense is like no transgenderism. I'm talking about like old school racism being common sense, where it's like,
no. I don't think that's the smartest thing to say, but I'll let the guy speak.
yeah, we all know not all black people are bad. We also know what's going on.
Who is we, bro? Do you speak French? Bruv, like, if you know who your followers are, honestly, like, you clearly don't know. You probably know who your followers are, right? I'm very sure you do.
On with them, and yeah, we don't have some weird desire to like dominate women or, bully them.
Bro, if you know who the people that follow you are, you will understand exactly why your statement is ignorant.
But we're also like, yeah, they kind of need to be put in their place. They do need a strong hand. They do need someone to treat them in an assertive way. So we just need that kind of like old school common sense. I would say that's maybe the rebrand. I would say I'm moderate. That's the misunderstanding.
Okay, so to that point, I'll say this is where I think that a lot of people have a low IQ and a misnomer when it comes to social media. Because when you say what to expect from black people, well, this is the thing. People like Nick Fuentez and other people who kind of spew that rhetoric, they don't even have experiences with black people on a day-to-day basis. And the experience that they have with black people, if they do come across a black person at a restaurant, or somebody dropped off their DoorDash, or they walk into a CVS and there's a black person behind the counter, or they go to their mailman might be a black man or whatever it is. Most of these people and these interactions that they have with black people are overwhelmingly positive. The problem that you have is, and what I'm not saying that there's no situations where it's black people and it's bullshit. The most of these interactions that they have in real life with black people is overwhelmingly positive. But the problem is,
yeah, and sorry to cut you there, brother. And I'll let you speak. I don't like interrupting. I'll let you speak. When you're done,
it's to where they don't even look at it because it's so normal. The problem that you have is people are chronically on these phones. Twitter has turned into a cesspool of white people convincing themselves that they are being attacked by black people on the internet. Why do they feel like that? Well, it's because you can go on Twitter and you can watch one video of a black person fighting in the middle of a Marshalls, or a white dude getting into an argument with a black dude, and then the black dude just knock him out and maybe kick him while he was on the ground or something. And then they take those videos, right? And then they'll base that as the norm. And then the algorithm, since you just watched that video, and you probably followed that page, what you're going to start to see is more of those videos are going to show up on your timeline, and you can cherry pick anything. And then since there are so many people on the internet who
I'm sorry. But this is what is very funny with Nick Fuentes, right? Because Rampage Jackson's son, just recently had an altercation, and I'm sorry to cut you off here, brother, but I want to just add to your point. I hope you're watching this. I'll probably tag you so you watch this. You can react to it and give your thoughts on my opinions. I'm always ready to hear from you. The thing is with Nick Fuentes is his hypocrisy, right? He's very hypocritical. When Rampage Jackson's son was beating up this guy called Psycho Stu, black people are violent. Black people are this. It was never about what he did. It was about black people, right? Nick Fuentes ignored the psychological um what happened that led him to that place. He ignored the psychological issue. You understand? There is what was his thought process during that? What happened to him prior to doing that? Why did he feel like he need to do that? He ignored about every single one of. He ignored every single thing. All he was thinking about was black people are violent. Wow, Rampage Jackson's son is violent because he's black. It wasn't anything of substance, right? And this is the sad reality of the of people like him because they do not like think very well. They just think in and they just have like a monolithic mind, a monolith of a mind. When Roger Jackson did it, wow, it was black, and then when we go back to that school pew pew of that trans white kid, all of a sudden is what led him to the point of doing that? Oh yeah, because he's probably a Democrat. You know what I mean? Like yeah, of course, Democrats are weird, right? Like I can't take what he says seriously because his idea is very biased. That's what I'm saying. When a black person is being violent, is because it's black. When a white person is being violent, it's because something happened in his childhood that led him to that place where he felt that he had to do like this. This is the kind of people that you're working with, dude. So I get what you're saying, but I don't think you can talk to them logically. And like I said before, these people, I don't know what goes on in Chicago, right? So I cannot really say anything about Chicago, okay? He might be right. There might be black people in Chicago. They are just spawns of Satan, apparently. But I'm not in Chicago, so I cannot really give any comment about that. But me personally, right? We all know that most of the black people that I've met in my lifetime are nice. I don't know if maybe it's because I'm black. I don't know. Maybe it's because of that. Or maybe it's because there are a lot of nice black people around there. I do not know. So the idea of this talk to me is very foreign. Like, of course, are they like black people that are like mean and angry? And yeah, of course they are. Okay, we all know that they are. Okay, we all know that they are. Are they violent white people? Yes, of course they are. You understand what I'm saying? Are there white people that diddle kids? Yes, of course they are. But you don't see us coming online saying, "Oh yeah, white people and kids." Yes, whenever you look at a white person, you you know what to expect, right? Your kids, you better hold your kids. Like, you do you see how weird it sounds in my mouth? Like when I say this, I'm even like I'm disgusted by the way I say it. Why? But this is how these people think, right? Imagine thinking like that about a person that you do not even know. Is every does every white person diddle kids? No. Is every black person violent? No. But the problem with this is that you're pushing an ideology to your white supremacist audience that, oh yeah, this is how black people are. They are inconsiderate. And the thing about most of these people is that they are basement dwellers, right? They don't really like go outside and see the world for themselves. They're always in the room, in the dark room on Twitter. Hey, 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 black fatigue, whatever. And because they're always in the dark room, they don't have any like experience with black people. So their experience with black people is based on your perception of black people. And then when they see an actual black person that is genuine, they'll begin to act weird because uh, uh, Nick Fuentes, like, bro, just be normal. Like, for both the black and the white, you guys should just be normal. This idea of trying to pick who is the most superior, like, why are you spending your time watching other people, bro, when your house is burning? There are a lot of things in the white spaces that need to be resolved, and you're out here looking at black people. It doesn't make any sense to me. Am I offended by what he's saying? No, I clearly don't really care because, like I said before in my last video, watch it. I'm above this idea of racism, but we need to be honest and fair. It cannot be when black people do something wrong, it's because they are black, and then when white people do something wrong, it's because society treated them unfairly and they were, a product of the system and video games. Like, we need to be honest with ourselves when it comes to this, right? It's whether there's racism or there's no racism behind it. And it's just a factor of surroundings, culture, or, you know, systems. We need
who are just obsessed with black people all day, they're gonna post these videos on these social media pages. See, black people, we don't really have that many. Here's a couple of them that I've seen, but black people, we're not obsessed with white people in a sense of we need to post white people committing crimes all day. But like, I'll show you a perfect example of what I mean on my phone. Actually, we'll go to Twitter. We'll do it like this. Let's do it like this. I'll show y'all a perfect example. I'll show y'all a perfect example of what I mean. So if you go to Twitter, and I follow a couple of these pages because I'll be trying to find content for YouTube stuff to react to and stuff. So if you go to Twitter and you type this in, let's type in I think it's I expose. Yeah, this page right here, right? So this is a page right here, right? So this is a page where they only post white people committing crime, and it's usually white people committing crime when it's crime against.
See, and I'm sorry to pause you, brother. You know what I mean? But, and I'll play the video back. I'm sorry to pause. The thing about stuff like this is, right, Twitter pages, and Twitter, to be honest, is a cesspit of. I just don't like Twitter because Twitter now is just a very unpleasant place to be in. I was at Twitter, right, just checking out normal stuff, and before you know, poof, my timeline just started changing, bruv. I just started seeing a bunch of white people on Twitter, like calling us monkeys and stuff. Like, it's very unpleasant place to be in. Like, I do not like Twitter at all because it's like, bruv, what is going on, man? A lot of racism going on there. And the thing about Twitter that I do not like at all is the fact that I feel like I already said it. I got lost in my thoughts. Well, I think about channels like this, right, is that if you begin to digest this kind of content, you will begin to build animosity over a group of people, and that is what I've seen, right? Like, if you are a black person that is filled with white supremacist content of how black people are violent and this and that, you begin to hate black people, not because black people are like that, but it's because you are being fed with this imagery of what black people are that is not accurate, and that shapes your perception of black people. The same thing with white people, right? So this channel is, like, I don't want to shout
Children
because
like
I feel like I just said what he was about to say, but the guy is a very intelligent guy because he's very intelligent.
sex offenders and just like weird crimes like that. Right, obviously the page is called I Expose Racists and Pedos. So if you go through the media, or you just go through the posts, right? White man kills 2 cops after domestic disturbance cause. Suspect identified as Ryan Michael Bates in Utah, or Bate in Utah, right? I guess it's another one. Yeah, the son of Norway's crown princess charged with 23 counts of rape. Here's another one. Usual suspects, 5 men arrested in child sex sting, right? So if you go down, this whole entire page is just white crime, white crime, white crime, white crime, white crime, white crime. And it's literally all it is. White crime, white crime, white crime, white crime, white crime, right? So if I'm a black person I follow this page, in which I do follow this page because sometimes I be wanting to find stuff for content, right? And if I follow this page, then I'm gonna see these videos are gonna start popping up in my timeline, because if I click on it and then I click and I let's say I hit the like button, right? And then I go through and I look at all these other people and I agree with them. Right? I'm like, oh yeah, that was bullshit. That was bullshit. What I'm gonna start seeing in my timeline, I'm gonna start seeing white people committing a bunch of crimes all day. So what I'm gonna think is actually happening a lot less than it actually is happening. But every time I get on Twitter, I see white crime porn all day. So the same logic applies when you go to a page and you look up a black page. So what's that one page called? It's a page, I think it's I forgot what that motherfucker called. I'm gonna just type in black fatigue. I didn't spell black wrong. Black fatigue. Here, Black Fatigue USA. Right? You can see the caricature of black people, right? So this page, what you're gonna see on this page, is a bunch of black people committing crimes. Well, actually, these are videos. These aren't actually like convictions and stuff. What the other page was posting videos, but as you can see, black people, crime, black people, crime, black people, black people, black people, black people. The whole entire page is just black crime porn. That's all that it is, right?
Yeah, exactly, bro. And the thing about these people, right, is that they are basement dwellers, right? They don't really have friends. They don't really have like a social life. And I'm not saying that you're a bad person if you don't, but I'm just saying that your perception can be changed by what you digest, right? If you don't have something that can counter it, you're going to see people in that manner. This reminds me of a story, right? There was this white kid that was talking to, cool, gentle guy, and this white kid, very polite, very polite guy. We talked. This guy was like, wow, I really like black people. And he told me, because every single interactions he had with a black person was one of the best. That black people are funny. He was saying a lot of good stuff, which had me surprised, because normally you don't really hear that often. You know what I mean? And the reason why was because he had interactions with black people in person. He did not let social media like create an image of a black person. He had to go and find out what black people truly are in person, and then he realized that, hey, wow, they are actually just normal people. Wow, shocker. I'm surprised. I'm flabbergasted that they are actually people with thoughts and feelings, and not just some violent brutes that social media make them to be. The same thing with Indians, right? And I see a lot of Indian hate coming out, saying that, oh yeah, Indians, yeah, Indians don't smell well. A lot of this like stupid racism. And the problem with that is, sorry for yeah, the problem with that ideology is, me personally, I school with Indians. I go to school with Indians, bro. Like, Indians smell where? Like, I've never like smelt any, like, me personally, right? I've never smelt any Indian that like I've never, like, me personally, I've never seen an Indian that smelled them and was like, hmm. Are they Indians with bad hygiene? Of course. Are they black people with bad hygiene? Of course. Are they white people with bad hygiene? Of course, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's common in all facets of race, right? And because of that, I cannot really take people on social media when they talk about Indians and stuff like that. I cannot really take them seriously. Why? Because of my personal experience. My personal experience is in conflict with what I see on social media, and my personal experience wins every time, because it's me that is going through it. So now I look at people on social media as goofies. That's just what I do, right? Both the white side, black side, talking about black fatigue, and the white side doing, oh yeah, white people are PDF out. Both of these ones, right? I see both of them as weird, in my opinion, right? So I'm not in any group. I'm just common sense, bro.
Here's another one. I think it's called the high IQs. Here we go. The high IQs. Here's another one, right? White crime, white weird pages, white people, right? So what you tend to start to have is, if this is in your algorithm all day long, then you're going to start to think that this is happening a lot more often than it actually is happening. So the point of me showing this is you can cherry pick anything that you want to cherry pick. So I can make a YouTube page, or I can make a Twitter page, or I can make an Instagram page or a Facebook page and just post white crime all day, or and then convince my audience that
Yeah, I'm sorry, but this Shiloh Hendrix situation is very funny, bro. Like this Camelo Anthony, and I heard about the situation before. I did not really like talk about it because I was not really on YouTube that much. And to me, it's just humorous that both of this group, both this Shiloh Hendrix and the Camel, white people and black people, they're fighting. This white lady called a black kid a derogatory word, which should not be used at a black child, for example, right? Like if she used it at a at a black woman, which I doubt. Let's be honest, bro. Then I'll be like, whatever, you know what I mean? Because it's a black woman, but she used that a white child, and it's like, and she did it to a black child, and it's like, it rubs me off the wrong way. That's just me. I don't like when children are involved with adults' business, right? I don't like it. Like even if I'm a racist, the last thing I want to do is to go around and start insulting like white children or Indian children or Mexican children. To me, it's in poor taste, and I don't know why people like Myron is defending such detestable behavior. I don't really, but it's whatever, bro. Whatever, bro. Just weird guys trying to fight. Like you guys think that fighting conflict with conflict is when it's going to solve the issue. If I tell black to do this, you think the black's gonna like calm down, and that is not how it works, bro. Conflict with conflict will only create a mess. The more you aggravate a group of people to be against each other, right? You might think, oh yeah, it's fun and it's games. And this is the part that really stood out to me when it came to like Andrew Tate's situation, right? When Andrew was talking about immigrants and stuff, immigrants and stuff. You know what? Let me let this guy speak, and I'm going to speak on that Andrew Tate situation. I just want Andrew Tate to be on screen while I'm saying this. We could get the idea perfectly.
hey, black people, these white people are doing this all day long. And then, especially when these black people don't even live around these white people, so they're going to think that this is happening a lot more often than it happens. But if white people were getting that oppressed and that scared, they wouldn't still be the majority that lives in these major cities. They wouldn't be living downtown in these cities. They wouldn't be living in Chicago. I used to live in Chicago. I lived in Chicago for 3 years. All my neighbors were white. I lived downtown in a high-rise apartment. I lived in River North. I lived right on the Chicago River. Right? All my neighbors was white. So if they were really just in fear like that, they wouldn't even be outside. But like the same logic applies with anything. You can cherry pick videos and make it seem like it's happening more often than not. But the problem is too, we need to understand that the white people control the media apparatus, and it's a majority of them because they're a higher population. So you're gonna find way more videos of white people or way more pages of white people that run these pages posting black trauma crime porn all day. So it's going to make the average white guy who lives in Arkansas, who probably went to high school with 3 black people who don't live around no black people, he's going to start to think, damn, these black people are really doing this all day long. And then he's going to make
Exactly what I just said, bro. Exactly. This guy just said words in my head right now. Very, very intelligent individual. He's very intelligent. I'm actually quite like impressed, surprised that he came up with that. Not surprised I came up with that, but the fact that he noticed that the how like I said before, if you don't have an experience with a black person, you are going to take other people's experiences. The only way you can actually have your own valid opinion about a group of people is by you personally having an experience with them. But some of you are already conceived that you think all these people on Twitter go outside, bruv. No, they spend all that time on the internet hating on black people and whatever, and it does not really go anywhere because there's nothing of it's like whatever, like it's pathetic.
a page, and then he's gonna make a page and call it what was it? What was the page called? Black Fatigue Official. And he don't even be around black people, right? So it starts to trick people into thinking that these things are happening a lot more often than it is. And I'm not saying that they don't happen. I'm not saying that there isn't a degenerate group of black people, right? Like
Yo, that is
America, you could look at the license plate and tell it's not in America.
that
This wasn't
is
in
that
America, by the
is
way. This wasn't, but it's
That is crazy. Yo, but honestly though, there are some black people that can be violent, to be honest. There are black people that can be violent, extremely violent. And we all know this, right? It's not like it's a new thing, right? But the problem is trying to like identify this minority to the majority, making it look like as if every single black person just want to beat you up, you know what I mean? Like it's, you understand what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make any sense, right? Are they white people that are PDF house? Of course, but you don't see me saying, "Oh yeah, white people we should avoid them because they might deal with your kids." Like it doesn't make any sense, right? It's idiotic because it's not accurate, right? And these are just facets of people that just so happen to be on that violent rage and need to be locked away. It's sad.
gonna start to make you think that these things are happening way more often than they are. But you can cherry pick whatever type of videos and stuff that you want to cherry pick all day long. But a lot of people don't understand how algorithm works. They don't understand how things work. So it's the same thing when you look at like I'll bring the example I bring up sometimes when I bring up women. When I bring up these feminists who these men are abusing us, men are raping us, men are doing things to us, and then they'll follow these pages that post crime videos or post personal anecdotal situations where women are talking about how they got abused and they got raped, and that's terrible that those things happen, and it does happen. But it's going to start to make those women think that these things are happening way more often than they actually are, when we know statistically that that's not even happening, right? Or it's not happening in mass, or the lie, like a fake statistic that they'll put out there to say that, oh, 1 in 4 women get sexually assaulted. That's not true. 1 in 4 women report that they got sexually assaulted. But then what do we constitute as sexual assault? If I say, hey mama, how you doing? You beautiful today. And she's unattracted to me and she thinks I'm a weirdo and she just keeps walking, well, she can report to the police that I sexually assaulted her because I said something verbally to her, even though it wasn't even nothing sexual. I could have just said, hey, you looking very good, sweetheart. So it's reports. It's not actually I'm walking around grabbing her fucking pussy, sticking my finger up her ass in the middle of fucking Starbucks. Like, that's not happening how people think it is. The same logic applies when it comes to these videos and things like that, right? The average black person doesn't have a criminal record. The average black person is not in jail. The average black man is not in a gang. The average black man does have a job. The average black woman does have a job. The average black person is a everyday going person who goes to work.
Yo, like we are just normal people. Like is that simple. Like I don't know why people like to make simple things complicated. Like black people are just people. Are they some of us that are spawns of Satan? Of course, but majority of us are just like regular people. Easy. Like look at Andrew Tate sitting down here battle ready to attack the blacks. Violent blacks. It's so funny, bro. Like an average black man is just like normal. Like we don't want to be in situations where no one wants to be in a violent situation, right? Even gang members don't want violence, right? They want most gang members. Their goal is to make money so that they can live a good life. Every one of us wants to live a good life, right? You, everyone. No one wants to be in a violent situation because we understand that violence is last resort. So this idea that they're making black people or think black people are violent is number one, creating three things. And let me tell you what's creating, right? It's going to elicit, sorry, it's going to solicit, sorry, what's the right language? I'll just say elicit. It's going to elicit fear in your group, and that is what is all about, right? Fear, because fear is the best way of controlling people. Black people are taking all our women. That's not true. I, black, but it's fear, right? Black people are taking all our women. Black people are, you know, doing this, committing violence. Like most violent crimes that black people commit is against themselves, bro. Like this is the reality, bro. Like no black person is coming out saying they want to just go and like finish like white people, bro. Get what I'm saying? Like most violence is with themselves. This is even the sad reality of it, bro. If it was against white people, we'd be like, okay, fine. But it's so sad that it's against ourselves, and it's very, to me, it's idiotic. But that's not the point. What I'm going to say is, black people are committing all the doing this, and it's just fear. It's fear. It's all about fear, right? And you can never achieve what you want to achieve if you are constantly in a state of fear. Okay, like it doesn't make any sense for you to be in a state of fear. If you are the superior race, like you guys claim you are, and I don't really have anything against you guys for claiming that you are that, because to me, I don't care. You should not be living in fear. You should be living in power. Because are in fear, and that is indicative of weakness. You are afraid of black people. Anytime a black man comes, you guys always change the way you speak. You're like, you can't be racist anymore. Marion and Arute does not count. Arute is a white man, and Marion is an Arab. So it's like, to me, those people don't really count. But what I'm going to say about this is that your old movement is fear, and that is a problem. Your own movement too is also fear. You three capitalize on the fear of your viewers to create an ideology so that you can create a movement. You are afraid of black people, and because you are afraid of black people, because of your perception of black people, you will always be at the bottom. Imagine, for example, you're a girl, right? And let me give you an analogy. And this is why I'm going to tell you why most of these people are not people that you should follow. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine Nick Fuentez is walking, right? And then a black man comes up to him and starts asking him questions. How do you think he's gonna feel? He's going to be he's going to be nervous. And the reason why he's nervous is because he's afraid. And the reason why he's afraid is because he is weak. That is all what it all comes down to. Right? Sure, of course there are black people that do like commit do like horrible stuff. Of course, I do know about that, of course. But the what I'm saying is, and what I'm trying to elaborate is that because he is afraid of a fellow man, he is not capable of leading a woman. Because a woman does not want a guy that lives in fear. A woman wants a guy that is confident. And this is why most of these people have a hard time getting a girlfriend, because they're always in the realm of fear. They fear black people. That is why they can never get a girl. Because if you and your girl are walking, and someone like me now, for example, I'm 6 foot, right? I'm tall enough to beat this guy up. Walk up to him, right? He's going to piss himself. And now the girl is going to look at him and be like, this guy cannot protect me. He can't protect me. Why? Because he cannot even protect himself. He has already assumed that I'm going to be violent, right? And due to his mental programming of seeing black people being violent all the time, but seeing black people being violent all the time, he's probably going to think that, hey, this guy might do something bad to me. Me, I'm a nice guy. I'm not gonna like go around and start hurting people. That's not what I do, right? I'm a nice guy. But because people like that look like me do commit atrocities, because he spend his time watching people like me commit atrocities, he's going to think that, this guy might probably do something very bad to me, and then he's going to be scared, and then I'll have the advantage. You cannot be in a position of power if you're afraid, right? And then what happens? He's gonna run and leave his girl. How would a girl want you if you cannot even provide the main thing, which is security? How would she want you? You can't do that to her. The black youth can do that because you're afraid of the black youth. So now that she's not with the black youth, she feels powerful because she knows you're afraid of them. And that is the thing, right? She feels powerful now because she's actually in the side that holds all the power. She knows that you are afraid of her boyfriend, that makes you afraid of her because she can call her boyfriend to come and mess you up. This is why most people like this, right, can never go far because they always live in fear, and fear is the most destructive emotional. Some people will say frequency. It depends on what you listen to. If you're an hysteric guy, you probably say frequency. But let me just use the word frequency. Emotional frequency. You can never get anything done if you have fear. Okay, You can only get things done if you work through a place of everything that you want has been fulfilled. You must live from the beginning to the end, not from the end to the beginning. So from the end to the beginning, not the beginning to the end, right? You must feel the feeling you want to feel, and then you must walk according to that feeling. This is how you should live life. But these guys are always in a state of fear. Complain. I don't like complain. It's too much complain. Like these people act like as if like the 90s and the 80s and the 60s were like the best times of our lives. Like no, it wasn't. Okay, there was war. People were dying. Millions of people were dying. Hiroshima, bombs were dropping out from the sky, killing people. Sure, bombs did drop out from the sky today, but back then it was worse. At least we can go out now and protest, and people can sympathize with us, right? Different countries can sympathize, but there was less lack, there was lack of sympathy back then, bro. Like no one cared. People in Congo's hands were cut off. People were being burnt in a stake. People were tortured and publicly executed in front of millions of people to watch. Millions of people will watch as they'll put a man inside a bowl and burn that bowl, frying the man up, making him smell like me. This was the reality of people in the past. So you act like as if, oh yeah, we should go back to the way the past was, because the past was better. Like you don't know what you're talking about, right? All we can do is to hope for a better future, and that future comes with us recognizing our problems, of course, right, and fixing that problem. If all your talk is just black people are this and that and this and that to your racist white audience who want to murder black people, you might not have anything against black people, of course. You might not. You might actually be a genuine guy because I don't really know who you are. But the people that you are leading do. This is the problem, and I know this for a fact. I have seen lots of group account. I know the kind of people that they are. They are not good people, and they want to end black people. You can say that for a fact. You do not come out and talk against it. You just say, "Oh yeah, but I'm not. I don't hate black people." You need to influence them, right? I can say bad things about black people, and I would say good things about black people. This is the psychology of it, right? I would say good things about white people, and then I'll say good things about black people. I'll say good things about black people, then I'll say what I do not like about black people. I say what I like about black people, and that is how you settle it down. If your thought is just black people are this, and they giving black people this image of oh they are just Satan incarnate, then all you're doing right now is creating a racist ideology because that is the way white supremacists think. They do not believe that black people can do anything good. So you are just perpetuating their thoughts. If I was a racist, right, or if I was like Nick Fuentes, if I'm coming on stage, I'm not gonna like come on stage and just be like, oh yeah, black people are these maniacs. Like the first thing I would do is number one, acknowledge the thing that black people have done that were remarkable, right? And then we're gonna talk about the problems in the black community. But this issue of where these three people just completely demonize this community, making them look like demons to other race of people, that will affect their perception of them, and that will make them treat them a certain way that is number one not proper, and number two problematic and dangerous. If an Asian person seeing me as a black man trying to serve a cup of coffee and they're listening to Nick Fuentes or they are about how black people are the scum of the earth, they're going to treat me a certain way compared to a white man because their perception of black people has already been ruined based on your, ideology. That is why it's dangerous. It has nothing to do with the fact that you might not be racist. No, it's that the people and the ideology that you spread are problematic to a group of people. And the same thing goes for you, Andrew Tate. And Andrew Tate knows this intrinsically. That's why Andrew Tate is very like he doesn't want to just go in on this kind of stuff, right? He doesn't like going in on this kind of stuff because he knows what happened in the UK when he started talking too much about uh you know immigrants and other people. He knows what happens when riots happened in England last year or last 2 years. I don't know if last year or last 2 years. I was there. I was in England when that happened. Buildings were affected. Cars were flipped and burnt. An immigrant came coming out from the house, from the place that I was working, taking care of an old lady, came and he saw his car burnt to a crisp in Ireland. And there's a news about this. But burnt to a crisp in Ireland. The guy was crying because that was his livelihood. Imagine, for example, your mom or your dad, okay, trying to find a better life for you, trying to make sure that you eat and have fun, right? Goes to work and then comes back and then come to work and then find out that her car that she bought, that she used credit to even buy, got burnt because someone on the internet was spreading misinformation. That is how problematic this thing can be, right? So you sit down there and say, "Oh yeah, we're just guys being guys." We know that we don't all black people. Who is we, bro? Like, do you think every single person out here is thinking the same way you do? Are you an idiot? Like, we need to be very honest with ourselves when it comes to this, right? We need to be very cautious. And I just say it right now, he knows like he should not lean too much on this race thing because the more deeper it goes, the more it's putting his own family in jeopardy because his family too is half black. We need to look at both sides, pros and cons. Black people have problems, of course we do, right? But white people also have problems too. And the problem is you're so focused on black problems that you don't even want to even solve your own white people to solve their problems. This is why you, to me, you're white supremacist. And I'm not saying that because, oh yeah, he's white supremacist. No, I'm saying that because you don't want to acknowledge the problem with your people, but you want to be looking at other people's problems to look at. If you don't like Chicago or wherever you are, you can always leave to a white town, right? But the thing about you is that I do not even believe that you go outside anyways because you live in a, if it's Chicago that you live in, right, and you speak a lot of bad things about black people, and this is what most people on the internet, racist people on the internet don't understand, and this is why the Shiloh Hendrix people will never understand, and I'll explain this Shiloh Hendrix and Camilla Anthony case later. The reason why this Shiloh Hendrix issue is such a, you know, weird issue, and how would I put it, it's such a create issues because sure Charlotte Hendricks has all of this money, right? But at some point she will still have to see black people at some point, right? She will still have to talk to a maybe she's going to a cash register and want to check in. She will still have to experience a black person. She will always feel that sense of fear and nervousness when she comes across black people because she knows what she said and she might be thinking, did they know what I said about them? She might even forget about the issue, but at some point it's still going to come back and bite her. This is why racism is not good for anybody. If you want to have a discussion about race, it is fine, but you need to be honest, both the good side and the bad side. Don't just say, oh yeah, black people are this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that and then that's it. White people don't have problems. We are pure. Like, no, you do, right? We all do. We are all messed up. No one is perfect. Okay? How can we help the black youth? How can we build our people, or how can we build black people into the people that we want them to be, especially for the black man, for Myron Echo and Andrew Tate, who is African American. Andrew Tate, what are you doing to help black people improve? What are you building schools? I don't know what he does, but I'm just asking him a question. Are you building schools? Are you building programs where children can learn about the law and other things? I mean, how many institutions do you have in the African American community? This is what somebody needs to hear, right? If you're just out here shouting and insulting the black people, then what good are you? You are not good for anything. This is why you might say a lot of things about Dr. Umar, and you might say it's a scam or whatever. But at least I don't know whether the FGMG school is real or not, but you can also think that okay, at least he tried. At least he gave an idea on how we can fix black issues by building schools that teach black people's history in a way that will make them more self-confident. Because the reason why the black American have this issue is because of number one, low self-esteem. And low self-esteem comes by your past, right? If you're a kid, and I said this before at a video, if a kid is being treated bad by an adult, the kid doesn't think, oh yeah, the adult is a bad person. The kid thinks I am bad, because the kid does not know what's good or wrong, right or wrong, right? They just assume based on how the world treats them. And when black people are young, they get this idea that you guys were slaves. This is the beginning of your history. I don't have that, because I am not like fully black American. I'm not like a black American. I am a Nigerian, right? By nationality. So my history predates that. It predates slavery. It's not all these things. So you cannot come at me with that. But the average African American history starts from I just said my nationality out loud. Whatever. The average in African American history starts from slavery. So now their self esteem is in the gutter. It's in the gutter already. Why? Because that's where their history starts from. That's where their past starts from. And it's from slavery to freedom. And that freedom is not just for them, but it was for a lot of people. A lot of people did benefit from the freedom that black people did provide. So let's be honest, we will always be grateful for the African Americans. I do not hate anyone. I don't think it's appropriate to hate on anyone. I don't think it's appropriate to speak ill of anyone, especially when it's a group of people and most people are just trying to mind their business and live their life, right? Like if you want to talk about people, you can talk about them individually. If the Jews are trying to take over the world, for example, right? I will not say saying, oh yeah, it's the Jew. No, I'm gonna like individually or which group, what's the name of the group that is causing this issue? Because you saying, oh, it's just the Jews, what you're doing right now is giving a very bracket answer. I cannot go around start hating on every single Jew person I meet just because there are some bad Jewish people that do bad stuff, right? It's inappropriate. So we need to be very specific in what we are doing, because there are people that are not that smart that we think, oh yeah, Dick Fuentes said black people are violent. Black people are violent. Most of the people are smelly basement dwelling creeps anyways, but this is the reality of how the group works, right? So I hope
work and comes home and does what they need to do. But it gets shunned over by the small percentage of our community who does operate in bullshit degenerate culture, and then that gets shunned over everybody else. So those are the videos and the stuff that they're posting. But like I said, if that's in your algorithm all day, you're gonna think that I guess outside of YouTube, I walk around with my pants sagging to my fucking ankles and I have a gun tote to the side and I talk like this, nigga. Yo, nigga, what up, bro? And I can't say ask, I say ax, because they like to act like, fucking vocabulary that act like dialects don't matter. Like, yeah, people say different words because of where they're from. If you're from the South, you're gonna talk like this because I'm from the South. Like, but whenever it's a white person, it's an accent. If whenever it's a black person, it's just lack of vocabulary and intelligence.
yeah, I do agree with what you said completely. Very intelligent young man. Okay, I hope you see this video and give me his thoughts on it, because I'm really hoping to hear from him what he thinks about what I said. But what I would say is, right, is it's completely right. It's basically from where you're from, right? Me specifically, I did not wish, or I did not like choose to have this accent. You know what I'm saying? I did not choose it. It was imposed on me based on my surroundings. So I don't think it's fair for you to come around and start hating on black people because of the way they speak, because it is not in your, it is not like you're not used to it, or it's not something that you would deem as classy. I do not, I find that to be very unfair, because most people, how would they change the way they speak? Do you know how hard it is to change accents? I do think most people want to change the way they speak to please you. Like, I don't think that is necessary, right? To me, I don't believe that is necessary. It's very hard to change the way you speak, because that is something that has been imposed on you for a very long time. So I do not think it is fair for people to hate on African Americans' vocabulary and call it weird or, you know, stupid, when most white people try to emulate it. Like, let's be honest, like African American vocabulary, it's basically the status quo, or or the idea of when we talk about an American accent. Let's be honest. If you have some guy in Europe, okay, what is an American accent? He's going to speak like an African American. So I just feel like it's jealousy to some degree. I feel like that jealousy. I don't feel like it's out of it's jealousy. African Americans like accents and the way they speak, their tonation is the most popular, one of the most popular tonations in the world. I think it's due to because of hip hop and how popular hip hop became. But I feel like that's the reason, and I don't feel like it is fair for you to shame them based on the way they speak because that is something that they have no control over, right? Just like I would not shame you for being white because I'm not. Is whatever you don't control it, right? It doesn't matter. Okay, so that's a weird thing. So yeah, I do agree 100% what he said.
They pick and choose the things that they want to, put on us. So that's the point that I'm making. So somebody like Nick Fuentes is a liar because you're not actually speaking about your experiences. You're talking about a video that you saw on Twitter. So you're internalizing someone else's experience. So you have a low IQ, or that's part of having a low IQ because you can't conceptualize things that's not really happening in the mass like you think it is. Usually people who are not intelligent think like that.
I think about Nick Fuentes that you need to understand is that number one is bias, right? Is his view of black people is low. He doesn't respect black people. He doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect you. He might say, "Oh yeah, because you're friends and blah blah blah." Black people are degenerate. You might say that. It's fine. Okay. Oh, cool. But the thing is, if you are so worried about black people being like this, what have you done to help black people not be like this? Sorry, how many programs have you run? Nothing. Just talking. And your worldview is influencing lots of people. That's the problem. It's not having to do with you. It's people that you affect. Andrew Tate knows that if he talks so much, he's gonna have another case, criminal case. Okay, we all know that. Okay, so it's good to keep your mouth shut, right? I don't hate any of these dudes, by the way. It's just that some of their thought process and their influence is very problematic because I've experienced what it could do in the real world. Okay, when your ideology can easily affect what's happening in the real world, it becomes a problem and it becomes my problem because I live in a place where if this guy keeps talking the way they are talking, I'm going to be in a very dangerous circumstance, bruv. And I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like I don't want my car to be flipped and burnt, bruv. Like please. Okay, it's cheap, but it's useful.
So that's the point that I wanted to make. Let's keep going.
Yeah, and yeah, I didn't like a fight or like a riot happening in Australia today. Like I think so, like anti-migrant riots or whatever. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, taking trips to Israel when they should be figuring out the Epstein files, shit like that. And I'll tell you this, Nick, like it's funny to me because people that aren't familiar with you or whatever, one of the first things they say is you're friends with a white supremacist, and I'm like, this guy hates black people.
And real quick, by the way, too, I know that the average white person is not a pedophile. I know that the average white person is not a criminal. So,
Bro, we all know this, right? Or do we? This is where it becomes smart now. Like it's common sense, but some people lack common sense, and that's where the problem is. It's not about whether you believe that white people or black people are mean or violent. Is that the people that you are influencing, most of them don't have common sense because they stay at home out there beating them and being on Twitter. So this you might think it is, oh yeah, of course I know this, but most people don't. This is why I really respect things like
I'm
this,
able to, even though because I really follow those pages for content, but even though I may see those videos in my timeline, I see videos on both sides, right? I see videos on both sides because I look at both of them because I be trying to find stuff for content, like that white woman video that I posted, and I posted a white woman yesterday and a black woman yesterday. That was I found both of those pages or both of those videos on Twitter, but I'm smart enough to understand that I know that this isn't the average white woman. This isn't the average black woman. This isn't the average white man or the average black man.
the average people of a race are just like completely normal. Like they're just like chill, dude. Like you see a black man, an average black man is just like a chill dude. An average white guy is just like a chill dude. An average Mexican is a chill dude. An average Arab is okay. I don't know about that, but nah, I'm just joking. They're chill dudes. An average Indian guy is a chill guy. Funny enough, it might sound weird, but that is completely true. Sure, I don't know about average Indians because Indians are like billions of people, a lot of people. So I might be a bit, I might be a bit too optimistic with that. But on average, anyone of any race is just like a random normal person. So it's like this is just like how I put it, a caricature of an ideology that is just like a caricature of racist stereotypes, in my opinion. Sure, racist stereotypes do come from somewhere, and we still need to fix the issue that is going on with the black community, basically. But at the end of the day, it is improper for a white supremacist to come and start saying things about white people, black people, perpetuating an ideology to the white masses to believe that all black people are like this, and that is where it becomes problematic. So yeah, of course, bro.
And like, I know that because I know that my algorithm is going to be based in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, shit, the same logic applies with even with the FBA algorithm, I guess, if you want to call it that. You got niggas thinking that the average African just really hate Black America, and that's just not true. If you go
Yeah, I don't really know where that idea. Sorry, bro. That's a bad place.
to Africa, the average African does not hate you because you're a Black American. If you take your Black American ass to a country in Africa and you go to one of those cities or one of those villages, the majority of those people are gonna praise you. If you a man,
Yeah, and that's even one thing that people don't truly understand. This idea of Africans hating African Americans, I don't know where it came from. Like, to us, African Americans are like the coolest people ever, right? You guys' musics are everywhere. Like, we listen to you guys all day, but we know a lot of your artists, bro. Like, we know a lot of people that goes on in the African American community, bro. We see ourselves as part of you guys, bro, because we identify with you in a way. So this ideology that African hate African Americans, to me is very foreign. I've never heard that before till like last month. Like, what? Really? Do you really think so? Like, I don't really know why or how we came to be. Of course, there are going to be Africans that will hate African Americans, but the vast majority of them think that you guys are the coolest, and we like your accent because your accent is very cool. Every single body likes the African American accent in any single country, right? This is why most people try to emulate it. Even the white man too in your country like to emulate your accent. Most of them try to talk like you because it's a cool way, right? African Americans are the group of people that have defined what is cool in a society, and that's the truth. The white man is cool, right? They have like things and a nice civilization, but the African American itself, they have defined what cool is, right? Jordans are only cool because the African American propagate them. Okay, all of this is just African American influences. That is why when companies want to make something cool for the masses, they have to go to who? African American creators like Kai Cenat, ISO Speed, the AMP. Most of these people that are so popular. Look at freaking ISO Speed, bro. ISO Speed is an American, right? And he's known globally. He's known around the world. You can go to uh Mongolia tomorrow in the middle of, I don't know, he went to Mongol before, so that is a very bad example. You can go to the middle of nowhere, the Antarctica, and you see a bunch of people saying I show speed. That can only happen in America, bro. You don't see any no guy from Europe, bro. No Polish guy, celebrity coming to even if it's Serbia, bro, and receiving that same treatment. No, it's only African Americans. That means the whole world watches African Americans. This is a privilege that, and I hate to say this, that even white Americans do not have, that they envy, and that's the truth. We need to call a spade a spade. So the idea that Africans hate African Americans to me is completely not true. I don't think that's true. I don't think it was ever true, and I just think that it's just like, I don't know, the way to try to divide us. Anyways, let's carry on.
and the women are gonna love you, and the men are gonna want to be you. If you're a woman, the men are gonna love you, and the women are gonna be you. The average African in their countries, not all of them, obviously not all of them. Some of them do hate us and don't like us. They don't have any issues with us. That's why I always make sure there's a distinction between tethers and just somebody who's an African or Caribbean immigrant. But FBA King 72 with 40 followers on fucking Twitter, he think that like the average African really has a negative disposition towards us. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between them and Tether. So I always make that distinction. So a lot of people are chronically online and they can't take themselves out of what they just saw because they're fucking retarded. So that's the point that I wanted to make. Let's keep going though.
Beautiful saying, bro. Very intelligent young man. Very intelligent young man. In fact, you have earned yourself a subscriber. Very intelligent young man. I do appreciate his insight. He's a very intelligent young man. He knows what he's talking about.
I know that kind of hurt some of y'all.
No.
I know I kind of hurt some of y'all feelings and shit. You know, you wanted me to scream and yell on the mic and call off all of them tethers. I know that's what some of y'all follow me for. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to do that. But I know that kind of fucked up y'all thought process a little bit. Some of you weird niggas. You can unsubscribe. I don't give a fuck. Eat a dick, jump off a bridge. Let's keep going though.
Why are you even around? And I'm like, that's not true. Like he doesn't. I know him in person. I've known him for a few years now. Very cordial, very nice. And then people forget that you literally helped Ye with Ye 24. So if you were so racist, why would you?
But no one cares about what he did with Ye, bro. Like, let's be honest. Like no one cares about what happened with Ye. Oh, if you were so racist, you have a black friend. No one cares, bro. My thing is not about him being racist. My thing is him perpetuating a racist ideology against a group of people, right? Like if I say that all white people are PDF, then that is all white people are PDF. Then that is a ideology that is racist. Okay, no, let me just remove all. If I say white people are PDF, black people are mainly PDF. Then that is just distasteful. It's completely distasteful. Like for me, even say in that manner, it's distasteful. I need to understand that this guy is not just influencing adults too; he's influencing kids to view people a certain way that is not, number one, inaccurate, and number two, problematic and dangerous to both sides. You don't want a black kid, a white kid, going around thinking all black people are like that, right? You know what to expect when you see a black person. You don't want them to be looking at a black kid like that, right? Because that would just make them want to bully the black kid. We should not condone this kind of behavior. Everyone has issues. Everyone has problems. Let's fix the problems in the community and stop trying to demonize people because it doesn't take you guys anywhere. All it does is create more animosity. Hatred only breeds hatred. The fact that it helps you to have a company or do whatever music, yeah, that's completely fine. I believe that racism, generally speaking, is completely stupid because racism, and the reason is the moment you can speak a person's language, you can easily associate with them. Like the more I speak to you as a white man, right, the more I'll forget that you're a white man. That's how it works. You guys don't have enough white friends. I think that is why you don't have enough black friends. If I spend enough time talking to like an Asian man, with time I'm going to forget that you're Asian. I'll just start talking to you like, "Hey, Josh, what up?" You know what I mean? Like, it's how it works, right? So the idea of racism, and this was written in the Willie Lynch letter in 1712 when he was talking about how to train a slave. One of the biggest thing that the slave master should not do is to make the slave speak his language, because then he will come to your house and speak to you like a man. That was one of the greatest things that he was very adamant about when he spoke about it. Yeah, I do my research. Come on, boo. Anyways, whatever. No one cares about what Ye. No one cares about Ye's music. I don't care.
You'd be helping a black man become president of the United States.
Terrible example. That's like race. You can't be racist because you did something for a black person. You can't be racist because you did something for a white person. Like that doesn't mean you're not racist. I can fuck 50 white bitches. That don't mean I like white people. I just like maybe fucking a white bitch or two. I could really dislike Latino people, but I may like go to their business and support their restaurant. Like I don't know why that people think like you did this thing, so that makes you not this. Like that doesn't. That's like saying Well, I see you in gay clubs every single weekend, but you fucked a girl back in '04, right? Right. So how could you be gay? Right. It's crazy. You were nice to that girl one day, right? So there's no way you could be an abuser. You could never be putting your hands on girls behind closed doors because you were nice to that girl one day. Remember? Like that's basically Myron's logic. It's another frame of low IQ. That doesn't mean you're not a racist because you did something nice for a black person one day. And me personally, I know some of y'all probably agree. A lot of y'all gonna agree with this on because I be seeing some of y'all comments. I don't give a fuck if a white person is racist or not. I want you to be open about your racism. I don't care.
Exactly, bro. Just be yourself, man. I do not care, right, that you're racist. Like, it's just like I don't want like ideologies like this to be perpetuated, right, against the to people because it's problematic, right? You know, that's what I'm saying. It's problematic. What can we do to solve the issue instead of complaining? Because that's all you three do, complain. And I don't like people that complain. It just shows sign of weakness. If you have a problem, then fix it. If you genuinely believe that black people need to change, then change it. What are you doing to change it? For the past 5 or 6 years, you guys have been complaining the same viewpoints. To some degree, it becomes old and it's like, okay, whatever, fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are not doing anything to solve the issue. You just want to sit down here and run your mouths. It's just, it's completely, it's just weakness. And I don't like complaints. I don't like complaints. That's something that females do, women do. They sit down, hey, wait. A man is, okay, there's an issue. How can we solve it? Then solve it. Find a way to solve it. This is why I always respect the Dr. Umar approach better than what the three are doing. Because at least Dr. Umar tried, or I don't know, but at least he brought on an idea on creating a school for black children to learn stuff about their history, their culture, and other stuff. He actually like had an idea that could help benefit the society, right? Uh, Exactly. You guys just sit down here and run your mouths. It gets old very quickly and you begin to lose. This is why you guys are together because you guys don't have that much clout anymore. You're trying to join your clout to create a whole clout base. And it's just me personally, I don't really have clout, but I don't really need clout. I just need to talk, run my mouth on camera, and then I'll be good. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
I much rather prefer white people being open about their racism. Be open about it so I can know, how you feel. I don't like closeted racists. That's why I don't like liberals. A lot of liberals are closeted racists. I don't care if you want to be openly racist. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying?
And that is exactly the problem. That is it. And this is one thing, right? And this is why low key, if we're talking about, oh yeah, black people are rude and this and that, and they're rude to you. And the thing is, I actually respect that more because at least you know that this black person is rude to me. You can actually avoid them, right? If black people are being rude to you, then the one that is actually nice and a good person, when they approach you, you will take them and you will respect them more because you will realize that if they did not like you, they would be rude to you. It's better like that, like to find out that way than for you to hang out, like I said before, with a friend and you think, oh yeah, this friend is this friend, many friends are cool, and then you find out that this guy is supporting every single anti-blackness, anti-black, you know, videos on Twitter. You understand what I'm saying? It's better like to find out that way. So of course,
You ain't gonna try me with it. And if you try me with it, what the smoke is gonna be, the energy is gonna be given the same way. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go worse. I'm gonna be worse though. You know what I'm saying? I'm worse though. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit more strategic about it. So I'm worse. So you could be as openly racist as you want to be. I'm worse though. You ain't gonna know I put, and I get on everybody. I get on black Americans. I get on Africans. I make videos calling us out on our bullshit. I get on Africans. I get on Indians. I get on Asians. I get on white. I get on everybody. You can find videos of me getting on damn near every single ethnicity.
yeah, I might still make a video about African Americans and Africans and blah blah blah. I'll still make videos about that too. But right now is you guys should subscribe, bro. Like for real, like you're watching and enjoying being smarter. Yeah, not subscribing. I'm trying to reach 200K for the end of this year. So yeah, of course, make sure my dreams come true, and I'm gonna kiss you if it happens. And it's gonna be a giveaway. the moment it happens, I'm gonna make sure I give out something special, and you can write down in the comments what you think that is. What do you want? I'm gonna make sure I get it, no matter how big it is, but not too big, right? Because I don't know. I'm not a millionaire.
Even my own. If I'm holding us accountable, yeah, I don't care if a white person is racist. Be openly racist. I don't give a fuck. You're not hurting my feelings. I don't care. He's the white person said a on the internet, so I don't care. I'm supposed to be mad and like fucking struggle to sleep at night because a white man in fucking Utah in a mountain somewhere said the N word on the Twitter. I don't give a fuck. I don't even know why y'all be letting that shit get y'all mixed up like that. I'ma just match the energy. That's how I look. Even when like I remember I dropped that video about the Latinos, about the Mexicans saying the N-word. I'm not about to fight you because you said the N-word. But if I'm your nigga, oh, what's up, my nigga? What's going on, my nigga? What's up, my spit? How you feeling? What's up, my spit? What's up, my wet? What's up, my bean? I'm gonna match your energy. I'm not about to fight you because you said the N-word. And I hope a lot of y'all get that. Like, why would you lose your freedom because Jose fat ass, big burrito, and carne asada smelling ass said the N-word? Why would you risk your freedom and put hands on him because he said, what's up, my nigga? Or he called you the N-word? Why would you risk your freedom for that? You gotta be a dumbass nigga to do that. Match his energy. Why would you get mad and fight him over that shit? That's how you that's like you being emotional. I'm not about to be emotional over that shit. That's the way I look at it. I'm not.
Me personally, the way I look at it is quite different. I believe that, for example, think about it. For example, okay, do you think a lion cares what a rat thinks? It's a rat. I don't care. You can run your mouth. I don't care. Like, nothing you can say can make me feel any differently, because you are not that important. Your words have no value, and that is where all the power comes from, right? A king does not take what a peasant says seriously, because at the end of the day, the king always have the final say. So you should not, like me personally, I don't like engage with you, because to be honest with you, I have the final say, and you're just a rat that is just running your mouth. That's just how I look at it, bro. But it's fine. We do have different views.
About to get emotional and all that extra shit.
Yo, anyway, that was a very good video, and I really enjoyed the video. Yeah, bro. My thoughts on it is, me personally, I really do not really care that much. It's Nick Fuentez, dude. Whatever he says, bro. I hope you I enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I might make another video today again. Have been hard working, so please like and subscribe. You know what I mean? Make my day. So yeah, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.